Hi, welcome to Film Flash,
where good films float on top
and bad films get flushed.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Film Flash. Today we'll be reviewing Moneyball. Moneyball is basically about the Auckland Athletics team. It's starring Jonah Hill, Brad Pitt and Phillip Seymour Hoffman. It's based on a true story, right?
Yeah.
And so basically our friend over here, Dex, once again, is going to be reviewing this movie. So Dex, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, it's a true story set in the early 2000s about the Auckland Athletics. So basically, getting outgunned by teams like the New York Yankees or like the Manchester United of baseball. They can just, always successful, always winning championships, outspending other teams. And basically, they're at their down point. They just lost to the Yankees in, I think, the semi-finals. And their two best players got signed away by the Yankees and the Red Sox. So, yeah, they're in a ditch. So that's when the Moneyball revolution starts. Okay. It's a concept that has kind of spread to other sports now, like including basketball and the National Football League, the American Football League. It's basically where you kind of come up with formulas to see statistics that are not reflected in the normal box score, so you can have players that are constantly undervalued to, you can get them for a bargain and basically construct a good team for much.
So it's like counting cards but baseball.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They said that in the trailer, counting cards at the dealer team. But the magical thing about this movie is that like statistics is a very dry subject, right? It never once feels like such a boring subject. They don't really go in depth into it, but yeah, they're kind of going about the topic. But the thing about the movie is that Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill play their roles with such charm that you believe that they are who they are the GM and the assistant GM, and they're trying to make a revolution happen in sports. I think what really makes the movie tick is that sports is such an accessible topic. I mean, sports brings out the best in humans sometimes. Like our cameraman here is a crazy...
Some nutcase.
Yeah, he's a nutcase of a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And in statistics, you kind of see the cold hard reality, like numbers don't lie, you know. That's what they say throughout the whole thing. Like we can buy runs and basically win. But there is the romantic side of sports that is reflected, where you kind of hope you can defy the odds.
Okay.
Where you can run against what the numbers say, and basically that 0.6% chance that it could happen, that it will happen and your team could win. And I think the movie really reflects that. It's like, it's so true in a lot of ways, and I found myself really connected to the movie, even though none of us would watch baseball since we live in Singapore.
Moving on to the question segment, I've got one very important question. Yes. For once, it's a serious question. So basically, we all know that there's quite a few prominent cast in this movie. We've got Phillip Seymour Hoffman, we've got Brad Pitt, and we've got Jonah Hill. So Jonah Hill, there's been a lot of word that I might win the Oscars. Do you think he would win the Oscars?
I don't.
And why do you think he was nominated for his performance?
I don't think he'll win the Oscar, but I think he brought a lot of like comic relief to a film which honestly is
quite serious.
Without, I mean, him and Brad Pitt, they both brought a lot of charm and wit to what I would think is otherwise a very serious book. The source material was a book. It isn't really a narrative story. It's like about how they use statistics and all that, and for them to really infuse such charm and like a jokey manner to it into the story, I think was really good, and it makes it more accessible to the average audience. I think like you really don't need to be a baseball fan to appreciate this movie. I think any sports fan will.
Yeah, I heard also that Soderbergh was actually brought in to direct the movie, but then after he got axed and Bennett Miller took over. Do you know why was Soderbergh like got axed?
From what I know, he was supposed to direct the movie, and days before commencing production, like they scraped the whole thing because he planned on shooting it in a very unorthodox manner where the actual players were gonna play themselves and they were gonna intercut it with footage from these players, like interview footage from these players. So
that'll be strange.
it would be more like a documentary.
Historical account.
Yeah, it would be more like a documentary rather than a real narrative feature.
So, most important question again, question time. Does this film flush shit or float? Float. Okay. Float.
A big hello to all our viewers at home. If you enjoy our videos, do like us, press the like button, do follow us on Twitter, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Do follow us on Twitter and do subscribe to our YouTube channel where we up.
What was with the random vocal hic?